Welcome back to another video. Today's review is focused on Atlanta, Season 3, Episode 4, entitled The Big Payback. And the official synopsis of The Big Payback is, I was legit scared watching this. And before I give out my review, please like the video, subscribe or comment, or just watch the video and keep going on with your day. Episode 4 was another solid episode of Atlanta. Crazy at the same time. Also just talked about a lot of just interesting topics that is also just being discussed in real time. Reparations for slavery. So here we go. So the episode basically follows the character named Marshall, as Marshall is just a typical white guy that is just living his life. He has a job at an office. He is currently going through a divorce, and he is just trying to take care of his daughter. One day, Marshall is at a coffee shop just trying to get some coffee. He steals some treats while the person is not noticing, and he goes on with his day. What he doesn't realize is that someone in a blue car has been following him all day long. He then picks up his daughter from his ex-wife. He takes her to school and then he goes to work. And this is where he gets some pretty horrible news. Basically, he may be losing his job, and also just reparations has been coming up a lot more often, as a lot of black people are now starting to get paid reparations for slavery because of some of their family members being in slavery and everything else. And all of the other people at work, the white people, the Jewish, whatever, they're not happy about it. They are freaking the F out because they are not trying to pay. Black folks happy. They about to get some cheese. It's all good. Marshall, in the meanwhile, he is not worried because he just feels as if like he didn't do nothing. Like he doesn't know nothing about his family's history or anything else. So sometime later, throughout the night, he is having dinner with his daughter until he gets a knock at the door. And that is from a lady by the name of Shaniqua. And she is basically saying that Marshall's family used to own a few family members of Shaniqua's. And because of calculations and everything else, basically Marshall owns Shaniqua $3 million in reparations for slavery. And once when all of that happens, that is when his life takes a huge, drastic turn for the absolute worst. As Shaniqua will do anything that she can to get her cheese. And I do mean anything. So then the next few days are absolutely horrible for Marshall, as at work, a lot of black people did not show up for work because of reparations. People are still just freaked out about what is going to happen next. Marshall tries to talk to a few people for advice, and I think even the husband of Shaniqua, if I recall correctly, about what to do, and it doesn't work, as the advice that he is given doesn't help out. Shaniqua then decides to taunt Marshall at his job because she wants to let everybody know that his family used to own some of her family members and everything else. It gets so bad to the point that his ex-wife wants to fasten the divorce quickly because she does not want no part of this. When he gets back home, Shaniqua's family is cooking, having a huge barbecue at his apartment. And so much so, he is about to get chased by Usain Bolt because one person was about to come after him like Usain Bolt, like the guy from Get Out on some Olympics time. It was really crazy and scary. And Marcellus basically is just at a loss of words because his life is just going downhill that fast, to say the least. He gets a hotel room. He then just tries to just think of what went wrong, what happened in his life. He starts to cry. And then sometime later, he is talking to a guy by the name of Ernest, the boat guy from the very first episode of this season. And the boat guy and Marshall talk for a very long time. And the boat guy just has just like a lot of just important information, just a lot of facts that's just being spoken, just like he did in the very first episode. and about the entire ordeal, about the topic itself, and just other things. The two end their conversation, and long story short, sometime later, Ernest, the boat guy, puts himself on a t-shirt and he falls back into the water, just like how episode 1 was. And when that happens, I was freaked out. I did not know what to expect after that. And then sometime later, we get a time jump of, I'm going to have to assume, a few months, as Marshall has lost his job and he is now working at a restaurant. And him and many other people are working, but with each paycheck, they are taking like 10 to 15% out of that paycheck to pay for reparations to their person. And Marshall has to pay over 15% to Shaniqua. And the episode just basically ends with just Marshall seemingly just to enjoy his new job and just accepting the fact that he has to do what he has to do and everything else. Episode 4 was a good episode in my honest opinion. Crazy at the same time with the topic itself, with reparations, and just how they handled the situation and how they talked about it, as a lot of facts was spoken in this episode and a lot of just crazy things that just makes Atlanta the way that it is just works as well. And I don't know what to expect after this episode. All I know that everything else is going to be it's just going to be crazy. But I would say just thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.